The opposite of that is following after the ways of Esau, because Esau is the wicked. Okay, so you following after the wicked. Where you going? You're going down the path of death, man. All right. You're going down the path of death. Point blank. Period, man. You know, and the majority of our people, the 2/3 of our people, are spiritually dead. Okay, they're in a spiritually dead state. You know. They're a spiritually dead state. They can see, they can walk, they can talk, they can eat. But in the spirit, they're dead. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what's up. They don't have no consciousness. You know, those people in the conscious community, they're not conscious, man. They're not conscious of what's going on. They don't have any answers, right? Which makes them what? Spiritually dead. They don't know what nation they come from. If you ask them where they come, what's your nation? They'll give you a whole bunch of madness that really makes no sense, has no origin. You know, there's no forefather attached to it. If there's a forefather, it's not their forefather. It's not through their lineage. See? Talking about their Egyptian. First of all, what does the word Egyptian mean? They weren't calling themselves Egyptians. They were never known as Egyptians back in the day, man. That's a Greek word, man. You know? Egyptos. You see? The rabbit hole goes deep, but when you put the puzzle together, it all goes back to the scriptures. That's why you have all these different what you would call it, these different nations, excuse me, that all have an account of the flood. The reason they have an account of the flood is because the flood happened, man. And all nations came from those 3 sons that came out of the flood. So that's why everyone has their own story, their own version of the flood. You see? Like in Moab, for the letter 8 in the Chinese letters, the letter 8, right, which for 8 people, right? Think of 8 people is a boat. Okay? Because what? There was 8 people on that earth. You see? Noah, his 3 sons and their wives, and including the wife of Noah. All right, so that's 8 people. That's why for the Chinese letters, it's the letter 8 is a boat. Okay. You know, so that if you know the history, if you know history, then you'll be able to understand why all these other nations have a story of the flood, or a lot of these other books have a story of the flood. It's because it happened, man. That's why you have sedimentary rock all over the place, man. Which comes from what? Comes from the rock being endowed in water, man. How's a rock on a mountain gonna be endowed in water? When was it endowed in water, man? And it's not no rain. We're not talking about rain. We're talking about being soaked in water for a long period of time, man. Isaiah 33 and verse 6, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Okay, so the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures is what's going to really keep us in that time, man. And 2/3 of Israel, like I said, they don't have the knowledge, man. So they're really spiritually dead. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to be conscious to what's happening, man. Okay, so they're going to be in a panic mode when that time comes. And we can clearly see that time is coming. That time is fast approaching, man. You got this coronavirus. These people are scared as hell from the coronavirus, man. And that's a perfect segue for Esau to actually set up those chipping stations, man, that we've been telling you about, man. You know, Esau is ready to move, man. Esau is ready to establish his new world order, man. You know? You Jakes out there playing games. You Jakes out there, everything's a joke, man. Everything's a meme, man. They're making all these kind of memes about the coronavirus and this and that. Don't you dummies understand that this is a threat, man? Don't you understand that this can get big? You know? And it seems like it is gonna get big. You know, don't seem like no Ebola, man. Alright? The Ebola was just a big test. This seems like the real deal Holyfield right now. You see? And you Jakes out there making memes and you stupid, you know, you stupid Edomites and the rest of you nations making memes. But that's the time that's coming is gonna be like when you're in a contagion-like situation. You're not gonna be making any memes. You're not gonna be on your cell phone like that, putting on filters on your face and all that nonsense, looking for box. You're not gonna worry about that, right? You're gonna be in a survival mode at that point, man. Okay, right? And then the things that we were telling you is what's gonna come to your mind in that time. You know, you're gonna remember the brothers on the streets telling you about that. Let me get Jeremiah the 30th chapter real quick. You know. Because Esau has an agenda, man. When you look at the interview with Aaron Russo, he speaks about the agenda of the elites, man. The agenda of the elites, and he was speaking specifically of the Rockefellers, man. All right, they're all connected. This is Jeremiah 30 verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it," man. All right, the time of Jacob's trouble that's going to be worse than any other time is coming, and that's going to be a compilation of things. It's not just going to be a disease. It's not just going to be, you know, wild beast or whatever. It's not just going to be that. It's going to be a combination of things, man. You see, and all that together is going to create a insane situation, right? And it's going to be even more insane in this day and age, in these type of societies, because you're so used to this comfort, man. You know, being able to go to the corner store and whatever to go get food, and you don't really have, you know, don't have to do much. You know, you can get your Uber. So really, the Most High is really tailoring this place for the worst hit, right? When the calamity hits, man. Okay, when the calamity comes, you people ain't gonna be able to deal with it. You see those people in the Arab world, in you know, in Africa and you know, in certain parts of South America, they're already living rough. They're already kind of living rough. They're already used to that to a certain extent. But the people over here in the so-called first world countries, they're not used to that. Okay, the majority of these people, which men you know nowadays that can hunt, that can do certain things, that can start a fire, you know, and things like that. Very few of them, man. Okay. So when that time comes, they're gonna panic, man. They're gonna panic, and they're gonna be looking for the government to help them out, but the government ain't gonna be helping them out. The government has their agenda, man. Okay, they have their agenda, you know, and their agenda is to what? To chip the masses of the people for what? For complete control. All right. So that when you want to go take out, when they need money from, when you have taxes to pay, you don't gotta worry about that, because then everything's gonna come directly out, man. All right. That's when it's gonna hit you. Oh shoot, the prophet hath been among us, man. All right, that's what's gonna hit you. Those dudes at GMS, they don't seem so crazy now. They don't seem so crazy. You ain't gonna be on no podcast trying to beat around the bush and sound smart. You guys can sound smart all you want, man. All right, you know, you certain groups that want to go and talk out, you know, bring out your own doctrine like you got it. But that's okay. When that time comes, we'll see what's up. That's what's gonna really be that separating, that deciding factor, man, is that mark of the beast, man. When that comes out, that's how we're gonna separate, man. That's how we're gonna separate who's the men of the Lord and who's not. And you know what I'm saying? That's when we're gonna be able to separate. And then what? Well, you can't backtrack, because if you backtrack, you're just gonna make yourself look bad. And we could tell already by now, your pride is on a high level that you're not gonna want to do that. So you're gonna try and make up all kind of excuses, but then your congregation's gonna be looking at you sideways, man. All right? You're making all these kind of excuses. Oh well, you know, that doesn't mean that. Oh really? You know what? That's part of it. What do you mean that's part of it? What the fuck you mean that's part of it, man? Is this life changing or not? Is this life or death or not? If I take this chip, am I doomed or not? That's what the question is. And if the question is yes, that means that is the mark of the beast. If the question is no, then you're leading people astray. Let's get it real quick. This is Revelations. Revelations 13 and 15. Hold up. All right, this is Revelations 13 and 15. It says, "And he hath power, and he hath power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast." Slakia, okay. "That the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads," man. All right, so you got to deal with the right hand and the foreheads. If you're saying that no, that's just part of it, then that don't mean necessarily that if you take that, you're gonna be put to death. They're gonna do that though. Okay, when that time comes, they're gonna be like, "Listen, man, see, you take this chip, right? Right, so you can be identified and whatnot, so that you can be part of this system, or you're gonna be put to death." Okay, and that's why a lot of the brothers are gonna have to live off the grid. They're not gonna be part of society in that time, really. Okay. "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." All right, so you're not going to be able to buy or sell. How are you not going to be able to buy or sell with the image of Christ? Man, these people are something else, man. I tell you, boy. The image of Cesare Borgia, that's how you're not gonna buy or sell with that. You're gonna have a tattoo of Cesare Borgia and you have to show the tattoo to buy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up, man. It really just breaks down to pride, and pride is gonna get a lot of people put to death, man. Okay, the scripture says pride cometh before a fall. So you can keep being prideful, and when that time comes, hey, you can't say you haven't been warned. And I don't see a lot of these guys getting out of that, because pride is a heavy demon to remove, man. Pride is a very heavy demon to remove. You see, that's why I don't see these guys getting out of that. A lot of these guys will die before they look back. You understand? They rather die before they look back, and that's what's gonna happen, man. Being humble, humble and humility really goes back to the word also, humiliate, man. When you're humiliated, you look bad. You see, you look weak. You don't look good. You know. And these guys are not willing to do that. They're not willing to do that. They want to be the top general, the top, the sergeant, captain, high priest. You know, general. They want the accolades. They want to be looked at in a certain way. And they're not willing to sacrifice that image to humble themselves. All right? And that goes back to what also integrity, being whole, taking the good with the bad. You're going to, in this truth, you're going to get glory at certain times. You're going to get glory at certain times. People are going to be, oh, you're so knowledgeable with this and that. But what also comes with that is you're going to get slander. You're going to get people talking against you. People mocking you. That comes with it. That comes with the territory, man. You can't have one without the other. You see? But they want to take the good and they want to leave aside the bad. And by doing that, they're just showing their lack of integrity, man. Okay? They're showing that they're not wholesome. You see? You can't have one without the other, man. There's no way you're gonna come in this truth and not have anyone speak against you. You're not gonna look bad. You're not gonna, you know, certain things that you're not gonna be able to explain because it's in the spirit, and you're just gonna have to take that and be, okay, you just don't get it, you just don't get it. What am I gonna do? You know? Oh, Salakia. You know, humble yourself, Salakia, my fault. That's gonna happen in the truth. You see? But these guys are not willing to do that. Sometimes you gotta do it on camera because you made a mistake on camera, man. But they're not willing to do that. They are not willing to do that. You know? But that's okay. When the Most High makes that separation, that's when they're going to want to do that. But that's when it's going to be too late. This is Matthew 23 and verse 6. No, verse 5. Shalakia. It says, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at the feast and the chief seats in the synagogues. You know, they sit upon those podiums. They feel nice. They, you know, they're talking in the microphone. They feel good. You see, because they like to be seen of men. They like to get that praise. You know, before the time is due. Right? What you have to understand is we ain't gonna get no ultimate praise here. The praise, we're gonna get praise, right? The Most High said He's gonna give us fame in the land. But first and foremost, the one who's gonna get the ultimate praise, obviously, is Yahweh Shai. All right, but these guys are looking for all this kind of praise, and they don't want to take the humility with it, man. They don't want to take the humility with it, as if. Anyways, man, as if the Most High is dealing with them directly, man. You know, dealing with them directly, but by the doctrine they push, we can clearly see that He's not. You see. But when you look at the Apostle Elders of Great Millstone, they've been solid, man, from the beginning to the end, man. You know, in their old age, out there preaching, they're out there in the field, right? If you have a king that you know, that sits back, which king do you think would be greater? A king that sits back when it's time to go to war, he sits back in this plush kingdom, eating grapes and smashing women, but there's a grievous war going on where people are dying by the hundreds of thousands. Or is a king greater who actually is the front line in war with the people? Which king is greater? Which king do you think is more worthy of the crown, man? And that's the situation, man. All right, you got certain people, right? Certain people in certain rankings, they feel like they don't have to go out and push the word no more. They feel like they're too high to go on the streets. They done passed that level. Well, the scriptures don't say that. The scriptures say that that the Most High is going to deliver those who are out there pushing the word out, man. So if you're not out there pushing the word out, hey, really it's like you turn your back on the work, okay? Because that's a major part of the work, you know. This is 1 Corinthians 1:21. It says, "For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe." Man, so it pleased Yahweh Shem Yahushua by the foolishness of preaching to deliver those that believe, man. So we're out here being a fool for Yahweh's sake. You see? But there's certain people who said they think they passed that stage of being a fool for Yahushua, and they can just do their own thing now. Well, the Most High is not dealing with you, because guess what? You that's equivalent to turning your back to the plow, man. You say, nah, I'm gonna let my men do it, as if this is some army base, or some business that you just leave. That's not your business, man. You're a worker, man. Okay? You don't just leave the business to other people. You got to fight for your own salvation. The scripture says, let every man work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. You know, which shows that you don't really fear the Most High, man. Because if you fear it, then you wouldn't be able to do that. How can you do that? How can you not go out for months on end? Or if he ever goes out, I haven't seen no video of General Yohana out there lately. You know, nor have I seen many videos with Nate out there. Okay, it's mostly the lower guys going out there. And I guess, and they go out there, I guess, once in a while. That's a lack of fear, man. You think you got too high? You got too high for your. You got too big for your bridges, so to speak, man. All right. You think you're too far above to go out and speak, man.